Welcome to the show today, brothers. Got some mail to go over. Help! Am I being a nerd or learning to be a man? Hey, Supreme, I am a bad communicator who has a hard time talking to people. That's a lot of people out there, bro. Don't worry about it. Now, am learning how to talk from Lyle Londis and Deborah Fine, okay. And body language from Tanya Reinman with voice control. You talk about this in your show, but I'm worried it may make me a nerd. Don't worry about that. It'll just make you a better communicator. You actually become more personable when you talk also, and people will be able to feel your communications much easier. Okay? So don't worry about that whole nerd thing. The whole thing with the whole nerd mindset is you want to actually just get out of that. And that's where you have these quirks. Like I noticed a lot of nerds have quirks about them. You know, they become grammar Nazis and stuff like that. If you feel that need to be a grammar Nazi, that's nerd behavior that you're exhibiting in public. Okay? Just keep it in the quiet. You know, go to your room and yell about bad grammar or whatever you got to do. Calculate shit or whatever you guys do. All right, hypnosis. I was wondering where I could get your hypnosis shows. They were mentioned on the 7 steps, but I cannot find them. And you were looking at the old advertisement of that. Hold on one second here. Let's see. I gotta check to see if I can find that and pull that one down. I had a lot of that stuff on the net, and there were some Caucasian fellows that objected to like the first part of my book. They didn't like it. It scared them. So, you know, I trimmed the whole package down to make it so that Caucasian fellows would feel comfortable with the material. Okay? Let's see, 7 steps. All right. That's done. Let's go on to the next one. Help. What's up, The Black? He writes, hi, I watched a lot of your videos and they really help. I'm in high school. Oh, God. And I just need to know how to get girls to have sex. Well, I just put up a video on that. So listen to the video I just put up. I don't have trouble talking with them and having conversations. I don't want to actually suggest anything to, because you're in high school, you're underage. I really can't advise you at that age. I can go to jail for that shit or some shit. Some parent be mad at me trying to sue me and shit. So that's why I want you guys to make sure you're 18 and over who listen to my channel and write me for advice. Okay, fellas? Dudes hitting on your women. Hello, Supreme. I sent you this message some days ago, but you didn't answer it on your show. So I'm writing again. I thought I did. Oh, you know, it's probably on the show that got bombed. I did a whole show, and I went to, click the buttons, and it just blew. Something was going on with YouTube. Anyway, what do you do when you have some dudes hitting on one of your bitches? As I said in that show, well, let me give you guys the rest of it first. He writes, for example, a guy commenting on every single photo of your woman, saying she is looking cute in that photo. Take that as a compliment, okay? Don't live in fear that some guy is going to take your girl. If your game is strong in her, you ain't got nothing to worry about. So obviously, you got some low self-esteem shit going on, some insecurity stuff, and that's unattractive. Jovina had a guy before me that was extremely insecure. He was a brother. He only had a 6-inch dick, and that made him real insecure. And apparently he was like the worst she's ever seen. I knew another chick that went out with the same fella, and she said the exact same thing. His insecurity was off through the roof, and it made him unattractive. So be careful of that insecurity stuff you're displaying out there. Don't worry about that shit. If your game's tight and your woman knows how to handle herself as a woman. Basically, when someone starts hitting on her, tell them to back off. She should know to do that. You know, if she's a good girl. There's a piece of mail I forgot a long time ago, though. You say to take a girl's head out of orbit. I was pretty lost about how you would do it without offending the girl. Could you explain how you would do that? And I think I answered that one also. I think people send me the same stuff twice, and I get double emails sometimes. But I said you do it by clowning her a little bit, gently. But I don't recommend it for smart people. And you look black, and you don't look like a black nerd, so you should be okay. You're in the normal bandwidth. You know, every time I mention this, somebody thumbs down the show, you know. It's like, I don't give a fuck. It's the truth. You know, smart people are up here, you know, with their bandwidth, and normal people down here. Or smart people over here, normal people over here, however you want to put it. You know, it's just like, you know, smart guys don't get what normal people find as humorous. Like, for example, I did the show Clown and Eddie. A couple smart guys didn't get it. It went over the head. Plus, they were Europeans. They don't know American television and radio and stuff like that. We use sound effects. And like today, I used a clip from the Three Stooges. A lot of you guys are too young for that. You know, Three Stooges was this old comedy team from before I was born. But their humor still goes on today. There's actually whole cliques of people who only watch, you know, Three Stooges reruns. Reruns 1,000 times over. Shit, these guys were popular before I was even born. I'm 51. So we got a show here that's actually worldwide, but I assume that I'm only talking to Americans. Sorry to say that. That's where I put my information on, because that's where I live. That's what I experienced. Or American nightclubs. Okay. When it comes to a nightclub, I'm a master at it. I did the other kind of, as the nerds call it, day game, bookstore game. I don't know how many other ways they can call this shit game. Basically, I met girls in the bookstore, or sorry, the coffee shops, and bookstore. I think it was just once in the bookstore, though. I don't remember any other times. Pretty much everywhere I went. Like I said on my site, when you wake up in the morning, you put your player face on. Okay? You walk to the toilet and piss like a player. You got to get in the right mood the moment you wake up. I said that many years ago, and some idiot asked me, well, do you go to work and work like a player? Yeah, you do. A player is always looking for opportunities with females. You just don't fuck with them at work. Okay? But you can still walk like a player, like you're cool. Like you're the coolest thing to ever hit the planet. Like you got some sense about you. Okay? So, anyway, when you get off work, you go do your thing like a player. You know, you comb your head like a player. You take a dump like a player. You take a shower like a player. You got to basically get in that whole mindset. That's what I'm trying to convey here. And when you get that mindset, it changes your aura and your energy. So life begins to bring you more opportunities that a player should have, which is women. That is what I've noticed on the metaphysical side of it. Then we're going for the right brain people now. I know you left brain people don't get that. A lot of you don't get that and understand it, but you right brain people, you know what I'm talking about. That feeling you get about life, how you connect out there, that energy, that flow. So when you start doing that, you start tapping into the flow, okay? And life brings you more of whatever you're tapping into, the direction you're heading in. I noticed that in my own game. As they say in the Bible, and I said before in the show, he who has shall be given more. So because I had women everywhere I went, I go to a fucking gas station, hook up. Everywhere I fucking went. I go to the fucking restaurant on the fucking river, hook up. Actually, this girl, she was actually a model for a store in our town called BB's. Google it. It's called BB's. They only do up to size 5, I believe. So you got to get into the whole mindset of a player. This, by the way, this channel is for players. It's not for pickup artists. As I said before, players have been around before pickup artists was even before the internet. You know, there were players back when I was a kid. There were players back when my father was a kid. There were players back when his father, his father was born in 1864. Players have been around for a long, long fucking time that played women. I do not recognize the pickup artist as being as part of the game. Okay? They are, in my opinion, just these nerds that are studying us players, and now they're trying to flip the script and act like they are the game. As I said, that's a European thing. Europeans are very smart and clever. So they know how to flip the shit and make it look like they did it. Like when I first got on the net, I wrote a post about, I found this guy doing the old shitting on a bitch thing, as we called it back in my high school days, where you clown a female. And he was called it cocky but funny. And I said, this motherfucker took this old shit, bought it to the net, that's why I wrote my post, and he made a lot of money off this shit. That was my first exposure to what was going on in the pickup artist community. And then, you know, David D did say he went to the urban community and studied the players and got some ideas and bought it back. He said he said in his book he studied a player friend. Okay. So then I read another book where the author is saying that, you know, a lot of the pickup artist gurus are going to the urban community. And I can show you the writing of that book. I've got it documented, where they're taking the urban game and bringing it back to the net. Okay? So I don't recognize the pickup artist as being this part of the game. Yet. They haven't earned that right yet. They're new. They're these new infants on the planet. You know, they got to be around for a little bit longer before they can earn the right as being part of the whole hierarchy of this game. Players are at the bottom, though. And there are different levels of players. They're the bottom feeder players. They just get played for pussy. That's all they do is chase pussy. Then there are top level players who get the power. Okay? They look at what a woman brings to the table. They're not full-time macking. That's where we have people like Tyreek to teach you. They're not trying to be pimps. That's where you have Payroll the pimp to teach you that, and the king of pimps and people like that. But they're the top of the player game. And that's why I called myself Player Supreme, because I reached the top of the player game. Okay? So, I don't know of any PUA gurus that have had females wear their sign. And I know this is Eddie guys trying to debunk it. There's some kind of Google thing that, no. Sorry, fella. The woman that did that is the same one that's in, well, one of the females that he's talking about is the same one that's in my dance video. But she was a graphic artist. I told her to send me something that says Property of Player Supreme. So she graphic art her Player Supreme on her thigh. She didn't tattoo it. She just did a graphic art thing in her underwear. I said, no. No. You got to hold a sign. And I did this originally for this idiot named Brother Rap. When I was managing Pimp Hop, the player section, to show, you know, that I got females. And before that, I was the first person that started Prove Your Game in this community, because I came on the net and I saw these liars. I was on So Suave, and there was one guy in there, you know, trying to show some pictures like he had women, and I could tell by the body language that they were not his women. If you open your eyes and pay attention, you can see guys who have real game. So I saw these liars like this Mihao guy. He got busted trying to preach the game, and he only had sex with one girl. Now he's telling guys to act like a fag. I don't think so. It's time for some realness in this goddamn game, fellas. You know what I mean? All right, peace, fellas. Later.